And now here's Graham Miller with the day's sport.
The game described as the championship decider lived up to all expectations at Old Trafford this afternoon. Top of the table Manchester United and second place Aston Villa shared the points and the praise in a thrilling encounter.
It was billed as the Premier League match of the season, a showdown in the sunshine between the two championship favourites. Manchester United created most of the first half openings. Ryan Giggs, as usual, the inspiration behind so many of United's attacks. Villa were indebted to their 21-year-old Australian goalkeeper Mark Bosnich for keeping them in the game in the first half. This one of many vital stops. But 8 minutes into the second half, Villa found a new hero. Steve Staunton, hardly a renowned goal-scorer, unleashing one of the shots of the season. Peter Schmeichel saw it all the way, but didn't stand a chance. United's response was immediate. Within 4 minutes, Irwin found Cantona on the far post, and he set up Mark Hughes for the equaliser. Other chances came and went, but in the end, both sides had to settle for a point. They'll be looking over their shoulders at Norwich now, who could go top on Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday will meet Arsenal for the Coca-Cola Cup at Wembley on April the 18th, but they were forced to fight for it against Blackburn. Patrick Anderson reducing the aggregate to 4-3 with the first half goal. But two second half strikes sealed it for Wednesday. David Hurst's header restoring their advantage. And Mark Bright made it 6-3 at the second attempt to book a League Cup final place for the second time in 3 years. England are through to the semi-finals of the World Youth Football Championships after beating Mexico 4-3 in a penalty shootout in Melbourne. Barnsley keeper David Watson saved the day, keeping out a shot from Mexico's captain Juan Solis. England now meet Ghana in the semi-finals. Alain Prost made a winning return to Formula One with the Williams team in the South African Grand Prix. Britain's Mark Blundell finished third in his Ligier, but there was no fairy-tale start for Damon Hill.
The professor was back on pole, but when the time came, he was given a lesson in starting technique, not just by Senna, who scorched up the inside lane, but also by his teammate Damon Hill. British euphoria soon punctured as Hill's inexperience sent him spinning into 11th place. It was poor judgment followed by bad luck, as Hill's chase for points was ended by the sharp end of Zanardi's Lotus. At the front, though, there was at last some racing to celebrate, as Senna was finally overhauled by Prost's higher-powered and better-handling Williams, and was never challenged again. Schumacher then made the unwise decision of trying to outbrake Senna. Ayrton gently edged him towards the exit. Prost made it to the flag just before a rainstorm, which would have wrecked the race. And joining him on the podium, an ecstatic Mark Blundell. The British driver finally getting among the points in a French Ligier.
Cricket and England have got a fight on their hands in the one-off test match against Sri Lanka in Colombo. England were finally all out for 380, but by the close on the second day, Sri Lanka were 140 for 1. Robin Smith was bowled for 128 after completing his first test century overseas. But England's tailenders didn't put up much of a fight, Devon Malcolm skying this one straight to mid-on. From then on, the rest of the day was dominated by the Sri Lankan batsmen. It's been a good day for Britain in the World Indoor Athletics Championships in Canada. Yvonne Murray became the first British woman to win a World Indoor crown in the 3,000 metres in Toronto. Later, Tom McKean won gold, coming home first in the 800 metres. But there was disappointment for Colin Jackson in the 60 metres hurdles. Local boy Mark McCoy beat him into second place by 0.02 of a second.
And that's the news tonight from Graham and me and all the weekend team. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening. Well, after such a lovely weekend, it's all eyes on the week ahead. And this is the way we expect things to work out. Now, starting with tomorrow, high pressure in charge, and this front here proving a very weak feature indeed, so no real change. Now, come midweek, a slightly different story. We've still got the high pressure there, keeping things looking good for the south, but further north, these strong winds tending to push weather system after weather system through, and so a more unsettled feel to things. As for tonight, cloud and patchy drizzle in the very far northwest, so if we start with the western side of the country, country tomorrow. Cloudy, dull. That patchy drizzle keeps going in the very far northwest of Scotland. Now, as for the eastern side of the country, a much brighter weather picture, the cloud lifting and disappearing, and some good bursts of sunshine coming through. For most of us, it ought to settle into a fairly pleasant afternoon, but then that cloud and rain we saw in the far northwest, this sinks into the southwest of Scotland, and the cloud starts piling up over Cumbria, as well as the northwest of England. As far as temperatures go tomorrow, 14s, 15s, still looking good in Fahrenheit terms. That's the mid to high 50s. And the odd favoured spot in the southeast could well hit a high of 16 or 61 Fahrenheit, though cool around the coasts. That's all from me for the weekend. Good night.
It's an emergency. You've got to call 999.
Hello? I need an ambulance.
Delays reduce people's rates of survival.
Is our ambulance emergency system working?
I called 20 minutes ago.
And I was told that the ambulance wasn't available.
Are response times good enough?
She'd be alive. I really, truly believe that she would be alive.
Are Britain's ambulances getting there on time? World in Action, Monday, 8:30.
The night will be dry with long clear periods, but as the temperature falls, some patchy mist and fog will develop, especially later on. It'll be a fairly mild night, the temperature levelling off around 5 degrees Celsius, that's 41 Fahrenheit, although one or two of the colder country spots could be a touch lower with a chance of a short-lived ground frost. Tomorrow, any patchy fog will soon melt away under the sun's rays, and the rest of the day will be fine and dry with lots of spring sunshine. That sunshine will push the temperature up as high as 17 degrees Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit in places, but with the temperature at those high levels, a rogue shower is on the cards. Most places, though, will be dry and pleasantly warm with just a gentle breeze. So, a dry night with patchy fog later, followed by another warm and mild day tomorrow.
A nightclub dancer, a desperate man, the first in a new series of Maigret investigations, next on HTV.